Answer more of your questions on coronavirus and how to stay safe. And yes, he is back. It's Dr. Bharat Pankhania. He's here to give us his views as a public health expert. How are you, Dr. Pankhania?
Very well, thank you.
Good. It's really nice to see you. As always, we've had so many emails for you, so we're going to jump in. So first of all, Judy would like to know, how soon after the second jab do you get enhanced immunity? Is it 3 weeks like the first jab?
Immunity starts immediately after the first dose, the first vaccine. And after the second vaccine, we like to say that within 7 days, you've reached peak protection. There's a difference between peak protection and peak immunity. The immunity lasts for much, much longer, but peak protection and therefore onwards is about 7 days later. But that doesn't mean you drop your guard after the 7 days. You still continue with infection control measures.
OK. Robert in Swindon, he wants to know if you can still catch COVID and pass it on to others once you've had the vaccine.
Yes, Robert, in some cases, we feel that you may get mild illness, even though you may not get severe illness after you've been immunized. With your mild illness, you can go on to infect other people and give them severe illness if they are not protected. Another reason why we should maintain strict infection control even after we have been immunized.
OK. Now, several people, including Anne and Judith, would just like reminding about how you actually catch COVID. For instance, is it just breathing it in?
There is a lot of knowledge now. So we feel there is aerosol spread, there is droplet spread, and then there is contaminated surface spread, whereby you pick it up on your hand and then introduce it to nose and mouth and eyes. So it's several sources: contact, aerosol, as well as droplets.
OK. Barbie White's been in touch. She and her husband have had their jabs, hooray, and so have many of their friends. They're saying once lockdown is over, obviously, are they safe to mix again? Because they'd love a game of tennis.
Essentially, yes. But what we want to do is make sure we follow government rules on this, because what we want is a large number of the population to also be immunized, so that then we can all slowly lower our infection control measures, because you can't say I'm immunized, therefore I'm playing my game of tennis. We've got to wait for other people also to be protected and immunized.
OK. Stephen in Bristol would like to know what to look for when buying an antibacterial spray to protect against coronavirus.
Well, Stephen, I would say to you, why do you want to spend your money buying fancy things? Ordinary soap and water is pretty good at disrupting the virus. So I would say, if you really were keen on wiping down surfaces and things, soapy water, warm soapy water will do the job for you.
OK, that's Stephen's your advice for you, Stephen. Alan is in Sharpness. He asks, will the COVID jab and the flu jab eventually be combined, do you think, so that we'll get just one each winter?
We may get that, but I personally feel it will be better to keep them separate, because whilst we have the seasonal influenza vaccine every year, we may not have the coronavirus every year. We just don't know. And in any case, it's better to keep the two vaccines separate, because they are different modalities, different platforms, different items. So it would be better if they're kept separate.
Oh, OK, that's interesting. And let's turn from the vaccine to general immunity. Chris in Backwell would like to know why some people seem to not be affected, it's funny, isn't it, by COVID, and others get really ill. I'm sure we've all thought that. Is it genes or diet or something else?
We don't think that there is a huge genetic component in selecting people for severe illness. But what we do know is certain people get more severe illness. Therefore, if you are older, your chances increase, and they increase exponentially the older you get, 60, 70, 80, the rise is very, very high. The other things are what we call comorbidities. So if you are younger or older, but you have things like diabetes, blood pressure, kidney problems, heart problems, suboptimal immune systems, etc., your chances of severe illness, if you were to get infected, are much greater. So it's a case of what baggage we are carrying with us that makes us more vulnerable to severe illness.
OK, you are, as ever, brilliant and have covered lots and lots of different things. Thank you so much, Dr. Pankhania. Now, we know from your emails, you always appreciate hearing from Dr. Pankania. I'm sure tonight is no exception.